What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Greater Monmouth Zoological Society office. Today we are going to learn how to process the finances for the society. This begins with the acrylic boxes out front to collect all deposits. This is a monthly basis process. This particular instance is in January. It did take 2 days to process it. From start to finish. We broke it down to 30 minutes, but plan accordingly for whatever month it happens to be in. Now, what's the reason for this video? This video corresponds with the project management guide. The written version is in the project management guide binder, those leafy top shelf binders that you see there next to the safe. A video just helps out, goes right along with it if ever you find yourself in the position to have to process finances from start to finish. This should at least give you a little bit of a guidance to go with it. So all of these items we pulled from the safe. This is FileZilla. In QuickBooks, I call it FileZilla. FileZilla is actually a program that we used in broadcast. It transfers videos from one news station to the other. FileZilla. So this is my FileZilla here at the zoo. So those acrylic boxes, the deposits there, went into FileZilla. The spreadsheet that was just opened up, that orange spreadsheet, is the capital campaign tracking. So all of those acrylic boxes are deposited into the capital campaign. That gets tracked in the orange Excel sheet.
Nothing around here. You didn't know the gun was in there.
And you stab somebody?
Then it's gonna come to you.
Next step are these red folders: bills to enter, bills to pay. In the bills to enter file, you will have that spreadsheet that we'll see many times here coming up, but that helps us to process the gift shop. That's that spreadsheet that we were talking about there. So with our gift shop deposits, oh, here we go. We're getting into subtitles, so we know that we're getting serious. Our summer staff will turn in one of those zipper envelopes. Andrea or myself will process those every day to be sure that nothing is going missing or that they're not having any trouble. So what you will see in the safe are sandwich bags of those end of day receipts. And we'll introduce you to each of those. There's one for the till and there's one for the credit card processing machine. Then you have all of that, big stack of credit card slips that our guests have signed. Those are all saved for tax purposes, but you won't need it for processing. So we'll go through all of that. This is a distraction because that's what happens at the zoo. So back to work, gift shop processing. In each deposit, in each of those sandwich bags, you're going to find the longest receipt tape. That one is from the till itself, the big machine. That's going to tell you the total amount on the day, total amount of credit cards, total amount of cash. You'll find that stack of signed credit card slips. You just staple those together. Those get filed. We save them for 7 years, so there are boxes downstairs. But you won't need them for this process. What you will need is that long slip from the till, and the shorter slips are from the credit card machine. Again, those signed copies, you just staple those together and save them in any instance of an audit. And that's that long slip from the till. Right next to it, you see the end of day credit card slip. At the bottom, it has a batch number. That's what you're really looking for. This is where the signed copies of the credit cards go. Credit card slips, those go in the bottom drawer of the filing cabinet, and then they'll go downstairs in their cardboard box. All right, so starting from the beginning on a new day here, right? You have a sandwich bag. either Andrea or myself have put together this sandwich bag for you. It has that top copy that whoever was working the till, when they closed it out, filled out this piece of paper for you. It'll have all of those signed credit card slips together. And those summary reports, those are the ones that you want to save out. It says summary report at the top and a batch number at the bottom. Those are the ones that you want to save out. The ones that folks have signed go in their own pile. And those will get stapled together only for audits. Like I said, that spreadsheet is mostly for credit card slips. Those ones that I just crumpled up, those were a no sale day, no credit card sale day. So you'll count out your cash first. Making sure I'm on the same page with myself here. You'll count out your cash first. Make sure it matches that sheet of paper. And then just kind of put it to the side. If it matches the paper, there's nothing more to keep track of in that sense. That sheet of paper will also match your long slip under cash. Put a little check mark there. You're done with the cash part of that deposit. Now onto the credit card slips. Now I think in the captions I mentioned that in the summertime, they'll close it out every single day. Our summer staff will close out the credit card slip machine every day. In the wintertime, we get a little lax because it's a smaller volume of cash. And so we let those batches roll over, and we have that long till tape that matches up for a full week.
You got a bottle of pop in that.
Of all of that work, he gets a pop.
And they with different screws, different heads on them.
That's my friend Rex.
Lord. Different head. That's pretty great.
So you get different ones.
That's pretty great. I like it.
Rex puts in volunteer time every single
That was
Tuesday.
intense.
It's such a joy to see. Anyway, we let the credit cards run for several days, for a week. We let it run for a week at a time. It'll still match up to the charges on that long slip. If you are just learning, request that they close it every day. Our treasurer will be joining us on Thursday, or joining me on Thursday. We're going to be reconciling all of February. So we have been closing every day so that she can see it one day at a time. It does make it much easier when you're learning. This works. It always adds up fine. And the credit card amounts are no more than a few memberships at a time. So you fill in the spreadsheet by batch number, that number there at the bottom. That's when the credit card machine was closed out, which it automatically does at midnight no matter what. So we're writing in the batch number, the total amount that was processed on that batch, which will match your bank statement as a deposit for that day. And then the other columns come in for line items in QuickBooks. So you want to know, all of this money went to the gift shop, but you want to know how much money went to memberships and how much money went to retail in the gift shop. So that's what the extra columns are.
Your taxes over there?
You find all of that information at the top of the long slip.
Hold on, we gotta have a cutaway and then I can see. What do you have?
I'm just voting.
I was trying to do some fancy editing, but it's more fun to do it this way.
No way.
So this is Dr. Logan. New distraction. He brought in the skull of Bodie, our bobcat, just passed away just prior to this filming. We knew that he had a dental disease. His jaw was very deformed. So he brought it into the
And like
show.
I did lose some by like the process that I did, but
Sure.
yeah.
That poor guy. Jeez. Bad news.
So what I calculated in there, at the top of the long slip, it has each membership amount, senior membership, family membership. I added all those together. It came to $355. So I put that on that first line of the first batch number. Subtracted that from the total, and then the remaining goes to the gift shop. What Andrea is trying to do in the gift shop is she's trying to, oh, I should know her percentage before I quote her. She's trying to sell mostly recycled items in the gift shop. Things made out of recycled material, which does include our plush. She's working with a company that uses all recycled plastics or natural materials for their plush. So she's getting very close, and so I'm tracking separately how much she's devoting to recycled materials, how much she's devoting to give back programs in the gift shop. She does have that wall with the enrichment items. That's purchased with gift shop expense money, and then the income is also as gift shop, but we earmark it as enrichment gift shop money so that she knows how much is coming and going for enrichment and all of those different items that she's selling in the gift shop. It doesn't really make or break if it's throwing you off while you're just learning. As long as it goes to the gift shop line, that's good. I mean, it gets there. It gets to your budget that way. We're tracking separate things out here in the smaller columns that matter. I don't want to say they don't matter. They matter. But it's more for, I don't know, internal use than it is for QuickBooks. QuickBooks, it's just going to say gift shop. Again, this is all written out in the project management guides in those leafy binders, top shelf, right next to the safe. I keep these quarter sheets in the black box at the gift shop, till tapes. I think I'm going to get rid of them. I'm going to move to using the same thing that we use in the gift shop just to reduce confusion. But it tracks the same thing as what is filled out at the end of the day for the deposit. Okay. Then we keep all of those major slips, all of the summary reports and the long slip. We staple those to the paper form that goes with the deposit and put it in the black box. Okay, so this is processing the deposit in FileZilla. Got a little ridiculous with my time lapse there. Bear with me. That was just trading out the smaller bills. We traded out all of the coinage into the gift shop till, traded out all of the smaller bills into the safe, so that we have to make fewer runs to the bank. Not a huge deal in the wintertime, but it helps a lot in the summertime. On that pink Post-it, it uses all of the labels from FileZilla, right? So there's different tabs on FileZilla. That'll tell you this much cash goes toward membership, this much cash goes toward the capital campaign, this much cash goes toward conservation. All of that is tracked on that pink Post-it, which stays in your deposit book. The deposit slip itself just writes down check numbers and total cash amount. Sorry. And then we get into QuickBooks. This is entering the deposit for QuickBooks. And we'll repeat this a couple different times too, but this was when you're entering the line, the budget line that this goes into, a Control Shift will give you a split. So we're in that lower spot there, we're doing a split for that deposit. The top line was for gift shop got this much money, and the bottom line was for capital campaign. Capital campaign got this much money. All right, so back to our red folders is what's happening here. This is our bills to enter red folder. All receipts collect in that bills to enter folder. These are things that were paid for on the credit card, and we enter them at the end of the whatever finance period you're looking at. In this case, it's by month. In June, you probably want to do at least weekly. That's that Control S. It gives you a split. And then you can split up that $37 expense. This was an Amazon transaction, and so, part of it was for postage and part of it was for enrichment. You also use your split when you're entering all of your gift shop batches. So distraction number 3, it's like Easter eggs. That was Vlad. He's a Russian tortoise. He came to visit. Okay, so we are back to our spreadsheet. This is how we processed our gift shop deposits. We had each batch on a different line. So now we are entering it into QuickBooks. In each of the memos off of the gift shop, you call them Heartland and then label them with the batch. That does come in handy when you are reconciling to know which batch number, if it happens to be a little bit off or one's missing, it's easier to look for if you know the batch number. And that spreadsheet does live in the bills to enter file where your receipts from the month live also. And when you have entered them, they go into this bills to file file. And that goes into the big filing cabinet. In the top drawer, there are folders for the year. And so you just disperse them that way. Gift shop and advertising are going to be your biggest ones. So you just sort them out when you have time. In this instance, we were paying, forwarding those donations for the capital campaign, forwarding them to the Leopard Project. So we're back in the orange sheet. It tells you how much you owe the leopard fund. So that's what that was. The blue sheet is the pledges who are making payments toward it, and so those were forwarded as well. When everything is zeroed out, then you know your total that goes toward the leopard project. So that check was also written in the bills to pay folder. So now we are writing checks. Our biggest expenses are for the gift shop. And then in this instance, it's money forwarded, but those were donations intended for the leopard project. All of those check stubs are saved on a ring. Those go in that bottom drawer, the same place where we found our keys for the acrylic boxes in the beginning. Once a bill is paid, we do keep a copy of those invoices. I just put them in the same bills to file folder. We'll get them in the big filing cabinet on another day. This is end of day here on the first day. Everybody's heading out. Day 2.
I'm good, thanks, Travis.
Today we reconcile. So reconciling is taking the bank statement and tracking every transaction on there, making sure that it also is in QuickBooks. So everything is entered, deposits are entered, bills are paid, everything is, QuickBooks is as up to date as possible. Now those things happened yesterday in this video, so they don't necessarily show up on the statement, but I do make sure that everything is totally up to date before starting the statement reconciliation. And then there is a spot in QuickBooks there at the top where it says hide transactions after the statement's end date. Right there. Click that, and then anything extra goes away. This should just be what's on your statement. If everything's done correctly, you just go down your statement and click each one of these items. Hopefully it's all there. Otherwise, you have some receipt hunting to do, which happens. It's okay. I do, when I'm reconciling, I'm not right now for some reason, but I do reconcile all of my expenses first and then come back and do all of my revenue side. Otherwise, the program will unclick things for you, or it's easy to unclick one if you do both sides at a time. So I just go through and just do one side or the other. Looks like we're starting with revenue today. I sort QuickBooks by amount so that you can just go through and find the amount. In theory, it's all there and it's all easy peasy. If it's not, then you have to go back and find which receipts you're missing. In this case, I was missing one of my Heartland transactions, one of my deposits from the gift shop. So we went back to this spreadsheet that we know and love. That's where those batch numbers come in handy. The transaction, I was missing a transaction by batch number, so I was able to go back to the spreadsheet, find the batch number, find the original slips, and go back through.
This is Jennifer.
This, what I'm showing, the difference should be 0. It's not 0, so we start over. This can be time consuming. It can be frustrating. but numbers always work out. You'll find those receipts. So I just grab another highlighter color and go through the statement again. Sometimes it's as easy as something was unmarked. Sometimes it's a return. Sometimes it's just a missed receipt. You want that difference line to be 0, and then you can hit reconcile. I do just hit display and save the PDFs. There are 4 reconciliation sheets every month. We used to print them out. If you want them printed out, by all means, I can make that happen. I just saving the PDFs and backing them up seemed more efficient. Don't forget to reconcile your savings account, which is what's happening here. Usually, no transactions have happened in the savings account, and so it's easy, 0 in, 0 out. But you do have to reconcile it. Otherwise, it comes tax time, and your good friend Randy, the tax man at Dakota Tax, will give you a look. In this case, 0 in, 0 out. Reconcile and save those PDFs. All of my PDFs are saved in Documents, QuickBooks Reconcile is what it's called. And then it's backed up on the external hard drive, which is kept in the green box in the safe where your gift shop deposits are also. That way it's in a fireproof safe and backed up. I do back everything up at least once a quarter, sometimes more frequently. And all reconciliation sheets are also shared with the GMZS on the Google Drive as well. Everything worked out. Celebration. So we punch holes in the original statement. I do scan it and share it with all of you as well. But the original statement is then saved in the GMZS finance folder, which is also on the top shelf right next to the safe, one of those leafy binders. And when we've reconciled, we update the budget. The budget is saved in Documents under Budget Actuals. It's one of the top spreadsheets. It's one of my main spreadsheets. So you'll pull up the profit and loss statement under Reports, Profit and Loss Standard, and make sure it says this fiscal year. And then you just match it up with your Excel sheet to the budget. That's that. Be sure to look in the leafy binder under Project Management Guide Finance to learn more. Thanks so much. We'll see you at the Roosevelt Park Zoo.